Just a motherfucking jump. Just go. Follow and take a look at if you want to be on top of things. That's where I'm at right now, personally. That's where I'm at now, personally. Of course, with anything and any source, you have to find those sources that you believe, that you trust, that are consistent, and that you can things you can verify on a regular basis. There's misinformation anywhere, everywhere. That doesn't mean that, the misinformation is just coming from people on social media platforms. It comes from mainstream media, it comes from elected officials. We see videos now. It's absolutely crazy that we see videos now. We're actually watching it, and in real time, there is a group of people lying to us about what we're actually fucking looking at. That what we're looking at's not real. That the riots in LA, well, it's not as bad as it seems because it's only a 1 mile radius and now it's a 2 mile radius, and that keeps expanding. And well, what's happening is the violence is happening around and close to, in many cases, federal buildings. And that's where you're going to find the National Guard and, the Marines. You're just begging Trump to call for an insurrection and to have the troops start picking up people. That is not something they're allowed to do under the current orders. But if Trump were to declare an insurrection, it's absolutely something he could do. And it just seems like they're begging for him to do that. They want that fight. I think it's a dumb-ass fight to have. And then we had violence this past weekend related to these No King Day protests. We had violence in cities like Portland and other places around the country. Portland seems to be one of the worst, though. But, do we expect anything less than that from Portland at this point? Probably not. That was just amazing to me. The amount of energy these people put out in to me, a planned fake protest. There are so many people, just a great number of paid agitators for one. And there weren't really much in the way of counter protests because that's just not a thing for us. And I had some comments about that I'll be sharing too. Also helping me out today, he's in the hot seat, controlling everything, making sure things roll smooth, is Chase. Chase, good morning, man.
Good morning, man. How are you doing?
I am doing good, brother. I'm doing good. It was a good weekend. It was a good Father's Day. And we took it. We had more of a relaxing day yesterday, and I don't have very many of those. That's not Relax is not in my makeup very much. I don't know how to do that well, but we did yesterday. Dawn made some lasagna. She offered. She's been making breakfast here and there. I'll just say it. I did. I am not with Dawn, nor do I love Dawn because of her cooking. But she's done all right with some eggs for breakfast lately. And we both burnt the bacon recently because we got some fucked up shit going on with the oven. And she asked about making some lasagna or if I wanted something else. Well, I know she makes good lasagna, so I was like, let's not fuck up a good thing. Let's stick with the lasagna. And we did. It was very good. And before you leave today, I'll make sure I send a piece with you. Nice big piece.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that.
good. It's good. She did really good. Really proud. That it is, man. Just so much this past weekend. Of course, it looked like towards the end of last week, the story that was going to run heavily throughout the weekend was going to be about Senator Padilla, who got taken down at a Christie Nome at a news conference, press conference, and that he didn't identify himself. They keep lying and telling us that he did identify himself. Well, inside the room, those agents, the press conference was already going on. He didn't identify himself to those agents. He moved closer to the front and started interrupting her very unprofessionally, more like a protester would than a U.S. senator. Wasn't wearing a suit, didn't have a senator badge on, and nobody knew who the fuck he was, and he didn't identify himself as Senator Padilla until he was about 2/3 of the way getting pushed out of the room. That's just the truth and where it was. So I thought that was going to be the big push because all of the Democrats were coordinated. The whole thing was coordinated for this to happen. They planned this whole thing. So this had to take several days to plan, and they did it, and it worked for a minute. And then all of a sudden, Israel bombs Iran, taking out nuclear facilities, and Padilla's story went kind of nowhere. It just disappeared. Now, he was on a couple of the Sunday talk shows, yada, yada, but not much traction. They were looking to get more out of that than they did. Of course, they'll keep talking about it, but that pretty much got pushed back. So that the big thing was, and has been all weekend, is the bombing in Iran. And then along with that, Saturday's planned protest was really big too. So how about my X account? Is that my X account?
Yeah.
Okay. Scroll down. I have that video there. Let's play that video from the beginning. Oh, I really don't care how many of y'all showed up to that fake, whatever that fucking shit was, No King's Day. Don't care. We don't counter protest. We enjoyed our day. We did fun things. We're with our families. Maybe we were golfing or fishing. Took our family to a ball game. Whatever. But do know this. Don't mistake our absence for weakness. That's not a thing. We will defend. I promise. And all that bullshit you did, do you know what you accomplished? Orange Man is still your fucking president, bitch. I really don't care how many of y'all showed up to that fake, what the purpose of their flex was. Is it just to show the number of people they had? The most important day to flex with a great number of people was Election Day in November. And there's not another big election day until midterms. I don't know, when you have these mostly peaceful protests that then turn into violent protests, how much that's going to attract people to your cause or to that your side. I don't see that happening. Nobody's mind has been changed. For those of us that have supported Trump and you've called us everything you can think of, from cult members to Nazis, white supremacists, deplorables, maggots is very popular. That's a big one. And some of the rhetoric that I've seen, I absolutely believe was tied to the shootings in Minnesota of the two uh, representatives there who lived fairly close to each other. We, it's not becoming, it's one thing for you and I to insult each other and go back and forth. It's another for these officials, and they talk about things that Trump said. They're they're at that level and beyond now. And again, I think it does matter when you call someone Hitler over and over and over again, that the significance of that. I'd rather you call somebody a fucking asshole. We live daily with assholes. We live life, we survive life. But Hitler was a murderous, horrendous person who tried to take out an entire race of people. And nobody, I mean, after World War II, we can't never let this happen again. We can't let there be another Hitler. And so that has a certain connotation to it. So when you use that over and over again, you have people that will act on things like that on the basis of, well, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to take him out. I saw more things on X, for example. Oh, here was a little cute one I saw. There was a post on X where somebody posted about the number of people at the military parade, saying the number was 8647, which we all know was 8647 was the seashells that Comey claimed he found, at a beach nearby that somebody was making a statement with. But basically, hey, we're going to kill the president, take him out. That's what that means. It's also interesting right there. If you look at that post that you're scrolling right there, Chase, that's Alex Soros.
I don't know who that is.
He's the son of George Soros, who is a well-known billionaire, investor, and he backs the Democratic Party in a way that probably makes Musk look like, small time. He's done it for years and years, and they have a very strategic plan. He's backed a number of district attorneys throughout the country, and it's why we've had issues in many areas with crime, because these district attorneys are not prosecuting particular crimes and just letting people go, or behind the idea of no bail and shit like that.
Okay.
But so while my post, what it was about was simply that while you had their little minions out with the No King's Day parade, march, protest, whatever it is, the elites in the Democratic Party were at George Soros' house at the King's Castle, his castle there, and all the big names, from Kamala Harris to Schumer to even Hillary Clinton, because the woman he's married was worked for Hillary Clinton
Gotcha.
previously. So yeah, and so there you go. That's they didn't give two shits about the dumb people in the streets. They were at a swanky party, drinking champagne. That was their thing. But yeah, y'all did something. Trump was president, yesterday. He's president today. He'll be president tomorrow. Nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing. So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing there doing that. So, yeah, that was a lot of it on X yesterday, touting the numbers and what you see a lot of back and forth. And then the shooting, the Minnesota shooting, was also way up there as a top trending story. But I think it's related because the rhetoric is related, and I'll say it needs to be toned down on both sides, and I fire back as well. But I'm not. I've never called for leaders of the other party. Hakeem Jeffries has said some pretty bad things. I've never called for Hakeem Jeffries to, for something bad to happen to him. What I would like for him to do is just chill things the fuck out. But when you say things like, meet us in the streets, you are stoking the flames big time. And I can't believe it's really unsettling that they would continue to stoke the flames like this after the Minnesota shooting happened as well. Now, finally last night the dude was on the loose for a couple days, right? But they did catch him last night, later in the night last night, and now then the big debate was, who is this guy? What is he? What party was he with? Who did he vote for? There's some things we know now that we didn't know. Apparently, he is someone that did, I think, 2019 registered as a Republican. The one thing they said, oh, he voted for Trump. He maybe voted for Trump. It sounds like he could have been a Trump supporter. But for public records, I don't know if people don't realize this or not. Public records will tell you, like, I could find out if you're a registered voter or not, Chase. I could find out if you're registered. And I could find out what elections you recently voted in, if you voted at all. Just because you're registered doesn't mean you're going to vote. Or you might vote in the important elections, right? And not midterms or other things like that. Or, when there's only a couple issues on the ballot, that you don't participate in those, or primaries. But when the real election comes, you show up or whatever. But what it won't show is who you voted for or how you voted on a particular issue. Nobody has that access to that information. The only access is, are you registered? How are you registered? And did you vote? And when have you voted? How many times have you voted? That's the information that's available, public record. So even though I've seen some comments out there about people making accusations about and saying he voted a certain way, we don't know that. We do know from the very beginning that there was some kind of manifesto on his seat. And now the police in Minnesota are saying that, oh, it was really nothing. It's not really, it doesn't really mean anything. And they're not going to release it. And I don't know what pressure can be applied by the federal government to get it released. But I would love it if the federal government got a hold of it and did release it. I mean, I don't understand. Like, I'm not afraid of that. I don't know why they would want to keep that, whether it's related or not. Don't let people speculate. Just put it out there. What's the big deal? Put it out there. I think it's kind of crazy because if you remember, it wasn't that many years ago that a Bernie supporter shot at congressional members while they were playing their congressional baseball game or softball or whatever the fuck they play every year. And Steve Scalise got shot. Now, he didn't die, but he got shot, and he's still with us, thankfully. But that got tamped down a lot as to not blame Bernie for it and rhetoric from there. And I think the same should be, in this case too. It doesn't matter. It's not appropriate. And of course, as a conservative, uh, just as a conservative, as a human being, I condemn this kind of violence over politics. But I got to tell you, the things that I've seen out there and just the actions that people are taking and things they're doing and the violence at the protests and the number of officers getting hurt, I got to tell you, man, it looks awfully like that there's I don't wish for civil war, but it sure seems like it's more of a thing that could happen than before.
That was my prediction before the election. Was that Trump would eventually get elected and we'd end up in a civil war. That was my prediction.
Dude, it's crazy to think. But that's why I keep saying, like, there's a line that they can cross. And I got to tell you, there really are a lot of people like me who enjoy shooting, love, our guns and ammo, uh, that, we're stocked up, and we're stocked up because we like to shoot and have fun. But we're also stocked up for, if something bad ever happens, we're ready. If nothing bad ever happens, that's okay too. We're just enjoying it. And who do you think owns more guns? Which side owns more guns? I don't know what these people think, but um, this I see this in different places. You know, I I, I don't know. I absolutely I don't know where I would put that on a scale of 1 to 10 of being more likely to happen now, but I would agree with you that I definitely would say it's more likely to happen than it was 3 months ago, 6 months ago. And that keeps going up because you can't just keep poking the bear and think that and be amazed when the bear acts like a bear. And they should not want that to happen. And that's why it's so bad to have political leaders in both parties just escalating this, and especially from the left. Yeah, I'll agree that it can happen and does happen on both sides, but I also believe with my own eyes that it happens a lot more on the left. You just do not have people on the right calling for this kind of violence or, wanting people to be killed or taken out or, look, have your fight. Have it at the ballot box. Have it in Washington, D.C. Have it when they're giving their little speeches. Actually do something. Write a bill. Try to get support for that bill. If you want change, do something for change. And the people protesting, man, you protest in Washington, D.C. That's where the protest should be. Protest your political leaders. I don't see Democrats getting anything done or contributing to this other than resistance. Everything is resistance. Well, we have problems. We have things that need to be taken care of in this country. What are your ideas for that? I literally don't see any. It's just about focusing on one man, and that man is bad. And continued. Like it's too late for you all, to keep trying to bring up the shit about Trump's past. We've known all that. We knew everything about his past. You can say 34 felonies 30 million times and it's not going to change a fucking thing. The vote already happened. We knew that. We took it into consideration. We know, at least we believe in those charges being a bunch of bogus shit as he was targeted and gone after. Personally, they tried to take him out with the courts, tried to take him out by assassinating him, trying to ruin his life, people around him. And the guy is still there. He's still there fighting. You got to try something different. Maybe try actually contributing something. But all of that leaves us where we're at today, which is it's a mess. And that kind of violence where anybody is targeted like this. Because I got to tell you, what's next is somebody dying at one of these protests that's not law enforcement, or, in this case, the Minnesota lawmakers that were killed and their spouses, that it's just going to be just some random person. A nobody to most of the world, but a somebody to others. Oh, you got to see that. Roll that, right? Yeah, play that video. This is nuts, dude. This is how they're acting. Yeah. Go.
No! Let my people go! Let my people go! Let them go! Let them go! Let them go! Let them go!
Hey, get off the truck! Get off the truck!
Let my people go! Let my people go! Let our people
Get off the truck!
Let my people go!
Come on, y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta move.
No! You won't take my fucking people! Don't take my fucking people! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! You're gonna kill me! No! I can't! Don't touch me! Don't kill me!
Okay, get out!
Touch me, bitch! Get the fuck off me! Stop! 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 You're gonna run her over! Stop! You're gonna run her over!
Carissa, you gotta go.
I'm not getting out!
Carissa! Carissa, you gotta run out.
No, please don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! I'm a person! I'm a fucking person! Don't fucking kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't fucking 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 kill me! Let my people go! Let my fucking people go! Let my people go! Let my people go!
Let go. Get out of the
Let my people go! Let my people go!
Do they really think that somebody's
Bring your dog! These are parents!
Let my people go!
Their kids waiting outside! Their kids waiting outside, sir! Their kids waiting outside to see their loved one! Just let them
You're
go!
separating
These
families.
are our people!
You're
These
separating
are our
families.
parents! This is our community! This is our community!
Let them go!
This is our people! These are immigrant workers! And you know they stay big in country!
We will not let them go! No! 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 No!
Let them go! Let them go! Doesn't it hurt you? Where's your humanity? Doesn't it hurt you? You know you're kidnapping people! Doesn't it hurt you? Doesn't it hurt you? Where's your humanity? This is our people! This is our community! This is taken away!
back.
Move back.
Get back.
There you go.
Get back. On the sidewalk. Get back. Look out. Get back. Don't hurt now. I need the name of the who gave the order to drive past the speed.
Watch your back, guys. Let's be careful and get off the street, guys. Be careful, all right?
You guys getting your toes run over?
We're telling you to get back. We're telling you to get back. Get back. Get back. Off the vehicle.
And not the arrest where they're just released. You know, a $2,000 fine. Make them put up a little bit of money. I don't know, like bonds of like, it's crazy. I could tell you stories. I know what it's like to be charged. But that was insane, man. Yeah. I don't even know. Really. So that's really been where it's at. That's my 2 cents about it. That this is just something that is just over the top, and I think generally the public's just tired of it. And you know, it's continued, and I don't know if we have protests today in LA. I haven't looked, but I don't think it stops. I was just wrong on the timing of when, but totally expected this. Other big stories. I mean, we have Iran. I've been watching that. I don't know if you've seen that. And some of the missiles fired at Israel have gotten through. You know, they have a pretty good system there of intercepting the missiles, but their system can get overwhelmed and some can get through. And a number of those missiles have hit areas that have civilian population. On the reverse side, you know, Israel has been very, very targeted. I'm not saying that no civilians have been killed, but the number is way low. They've done an incredible job of trying to take out the leadership in Iran. I heard Patrick Bet David they did an emergency podcast. I believe it was Saturday. That was very good. I would tell people to check that out. Kind of gives a really good back history because he actually, I think until he was like 11, his family lived in Iran. And he was in Iran when there was the change from the Shah of Iran to the religious leaders that we have now. And what was the relationship of Iran and Israel then versus what it's been since, and where has the majority, where is it of the craziness come from? It's really come during this time of these religious leaders in Iran that changed everything, that where everything has become radicalized. And so it was just real interesting to hear his point of view, kind of on that. So, yeah. That's a good thing I'd suggest for people to listen to. Personally, I do not want the United States to get caught up in this. Could they? Absolutely they could. But that would take Iran targeting military bases or, U.S. targets. And that would be all bad for them, to have us and Israel. Right now, Israel can take care of themselves in this. They're fully capable and have the weapons and the tools to do this. But if Iran were to escalate this to try to bring us into this, that's going to be all bad. I think what most of us would like to see is that there actually, as I understand it, there's actually, some, even though there's some fear, there's some cheering going on by the Iranian people. They've been controlled for a long, long time. This is just because these religious leaders are in charge does not mean they are popular, and they are not. These people have lived under this tyranny for a long, long time, and a lot of people would like to see them truly, free of that. And that doesn't mean they're going to have a democracy or a president, but definitely get out of the control of those religious leaders. So we'll see how it goes and how it escalates and follow it along. But the best thing right now is for the U.S. to kind of take the stance they're doing. You still have the president reaching out, even today, talking about negotiations and coming to the table. Because they only understand one thing. They only understand force. The only thing they respect is force. And now that force has been applied. So, I think how it's been handled by the president has been exactly the best way that he can handle this. It's not a great situation. And, there was something that I don't know what the catalyst was, but there was obviously something that kind of finally tipped the scales in a direction of actually taking action against Iran. But, growing up the way I did and growing up in the 70s under Carter and the fact that they had held, hostages for, I forget how many days they held U.S. hostages, but it was a long time. And there was a countdown every night on TV. And you got to remember, that's when there were only like 4 channels, right? And it was a big deal. And I remember people in their homes having little pictures of the Ayatollah and, as a target, with a target, a shooting target over his face, and fuck Iran. And that was, talk to a Gen Xer. They will tell you there are certain feelings that we have about Iran, and it's because of those things that happened when we were younger. So there's no love lost there. Nobody's feeling bad that they don't get any sympathy like some people have sympathy for Palestinians. There is no sympathy for the leadership of Iran. There is some empathy for sure of Iranian people. And that's where we're at with it. That's kind of what I had for today. I just wanted to go over a few of the biggest highlights and share my thoughts on that. We try to do that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 o'clock or as close to it as we can. This Friday, I'm going to be headed down to Mexico on Thursday, but I am going to take some time on Friday morning and try to make it work live from down there. We'll see if that works, or, try to do that. So stay tuned to see if our little experiment works and how well we do with the technology, or how well I do, because it's all on me. Chase knows what he's doing.
For the most part.
But, we're going to continue to do that because I don't know. That's just me. I could just take the time off, but it's just not for me to do that. So we'll be right here. Appreciate you very much. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. Okay. Wednesday. Mhm. Perfect. Okay. Okay.